Welcome back to the arcade. Tonight we're going to test some boards. What I've done is I had 3 sets of Bally Midway GORF boards, and I haven't had a chance to clean the cages out yet. The cages are, the bottoms where all the dust settles down are kind of filthy, so they need to be cleaned and gone through, but that's another time. Right now I've pulled all the boards out and I've put some painter's tape and labeled them, and I figured the easiest thing to do would be to just go ahead and label them 1 through 18. It's a total of 18 boards. Got 6 RAM boards, 3 CPU boards, 3 pattern transfer boards, 3 program ROM RAM boards, and 3 game logic boards. So I'm going to start with the RAM boards one at a time. I'm going to take my game and pull each board, one board out at a time, and replace it with the unknown board that we want to test. And then I'll turn the game on. And to make things kind of simple, I set up a mirror, so from sitting here at the back of the game I can see the monitor. And I've also set up my old SD camera aimed at the screen, so while I'm testing the boards I'm going to let that be taking the picture of the screen. So if it works out, hopefully I'll be able to, in the editing room, I'll be able to do a picture in a picture, and if that works out, then you'll be able to see at the same time I'm test the boards, you'll be able to see what effect it has on the game. So that's the plan. So let's go ahead and I'll get the camera set up and we'll start testing boards. Okay, well, I'm going to try to do this and kind of stay out of the way of the camera as much as I can, but the way the card cage is in the cabinet, I'm probably going to have to get in the way a little bit, because sometimes it's not easy to get these boards in and out. But anyway, before we start here, the card cage has 4 larger boards right here and 2 smaller boards right here. The 2 smaller boards, they're the RAM boards. And then going from the left to right, the first big board is the CPU board, then the pattern transfer board, then the program ROM RAM boards, well, 1 board, and this one here where the wiring harness plugs into is the game logic board. So what I'm planning on doing, first we'll check the RAM boards, and rather than do 2 at a time, I'm just going to do 1 at a time. So we'll have 6 of them to test, and I'm going to keep a record on a sheet of paper plus on the board. I'm going to write on the board. I went ahead and put a piece of tape and a number on each board, and I'll be able to mark whether it's good or bad. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll cut the game off, and let's see if I can. Ain't too bad here. This can come right out. Just pull the boards right out. And that's what the RAM. They call it the RAM card. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this one over here out the way. We know that's my good board. Let's take number 1. And you have to, it has slots that the card edge, that the ground connections, they're little copper strips with a bunch of little fingers on them that wipes along both sides of the board. So you have to make sure you get them lined up in that on both sides. because if you don't, it won't line up. And that's probably about the hardest thing to do sometimes, especially when you can't look at it straight down. Okay, that one's in. Now let's cross the fingers and hope we don't see smoke. And it looks like the game has come up. I don't see any. Usually if you have a bad RAM card, if the game does come up, you'll have, I don't know if it's vertical lines or horizontal lines all across the screen. But game's up and running, so that one is obviously good. Okay, let's pull it back out. And I'll mark that down as good. And let's go for number 2. Okay, here we go. And the game's come up. Now I did turn the volume down because I didn't want to, I know I just fixed the sound, and I love that GORF can now talk and have the sound, but I went ahead and turned it down for the purpose of this video. I think I got the volume turned down a little bit too low because I didn't hear him say anything, but I got the sound effects. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but they're real low. Anyway, looks like another good RAM board. So far, so good. All right, number 3. I'm kind of putting them in blind, but the tracks are right in the middle, so I'm just kind of lining it up by eye. And if it goes in easy, I know I got it. Okay, here we go. Board number 3. And I don't see anything. I believe we got our first bad board, but usually it does something. It's not doing anything. Let me reseat it. Sometimes you have to reseat these boards. All right, let's try it again. Nope, I'm going to take that as a bad board. We got our first bad board. And this is number 3. It's bad. All right, number 4. Keeps scaring me when I look at the mirror because I got this floodlight shining in here, and I'm looking in the mirror, and it looks like the bottom marquee under the control panel and the 25 cent on the coin door is lit up. It makes me think I left the game on and pulled the board out, but that's not the case. The light's just lighting it up. But when I just happen to glance at it, it just, in my mind, it makes me think oh no, the game's still on and I got the board out. So we have to make sure we don't make that mistake, but that's all that is. All right, this is board number 4. See what happens. Now the worst thing that can happen is I blow a fuse if one of them tantalum capacitors on these boards are bad. Okay, this is definitely a bad board. As you can see, it's got the yellow horizontal lines going across the screen. So we definitely got another bad one. I could try to reseat it again, but I don't think it'll do any good. But just for the sake of the argument, let's try it one more time. Nope, that's definitely bad. The game is running because I can see GORF scrolling up in the track mode there, but yeah, that's pretty bad. Okay, another bad board. So that's board number 4 is bad. Board number 5. Okay, here we go. Whoops, I see smoke. I see smoke. We definitely have a bad capacitor on this. And it is the top one right here, C1. So, board number 5. Bad. TAT. C5. All right, now what we can do, these boards will run without that in circuit. So, let me get my clippers here. Let's try something. I'm going to go ahead and clip that capacitor so it's not hooked up. Let's put it back in and try it again. And hopefully we haven't messed up anything on the power supply, blown a fuse. So let's give it a quick try. If it don't come up right away, I'll turn it back off and we'll just mark it as bad. Okay, I'm getting nothing. I'm getting smoke again. So something else is definitely bad on here. I believe this middle one is hot too. All right. Let me clip that one off. Let me clip all 3 off. I'm curious. All 3 of those might be bad. I'm going to try it one more time without the capacitors. All right, see what happens. Going for broke. Okay, the game is up and running. So the board is good. It's just those capacitors need to be changed. Okay. You have to try things like this sometimes. These are just filter capacitors that smooth out the DC voltage going to the board. The board will run without them, but you don't want to run them without them, but you can test it without them. So if you have a problem like this, you can cut them out of circuit and test them just like we did then. So I'm gonna put on here, and I have these capacitors, so I might go ahead and just change these myself and then retest it later. So I'll put C5, and wait, let's C1, C2, and C3. Board. Good. With caps. Cut. Okay. Got one more RAM board. These have those same Kermit tantalum capacitors. I've noticed that some of the boards they have a different style. They're silver, but I think they're still tantalum capacitors. But whether it was just somebody had already replaced them, or whether it was just when they were building the boards, they just had a different supplier. Either one is plausible. Okay, let's try board number 6, the last RAM board. And I'm going to keep my eye out for smoke. Don't see any smoke. The game is up and running. So that board is good. Okay, well, we're not doing too bad. Even that board that was totally dead, the third board, even though I didn't see any smoke, it's possible it could have one of those capacitors shorted. So I'll check it with, matter of fact, I should have checked these with the diode tester before I even put them in. I guess it would have been a good thing to do, but then I wouldn't have had to worry about the smoke. I would have knew it was bad to start with. So that's a good thing. So you learn something as you go. I should have thought of that, but I didn't. I could have tested those capacitors before I even fired them up. So that might be the best thing to do. Okay. Well, we're finished with the RAM board, so I'm going to put my original board back in, because we know that's good. And before I pull any other board out, I'm going to turn it back on and make sure that it's still running with my original board. That way, when you put the next board in, if it doesn't work, you can eliminate whether or not you have a problem with the original board that you put in. Okay, game's up and running. Okay, so now we're going to check the CPU boards. And that should be the next board next to the RAM card here. So let's go ahead and see if we can pull this out. This is a bigger board, so. Be a little harder to get out. Okay, now this board here is supposed to have this heatsink glued to this chip right here. I don't know if that's one of the CPU chip, or if that's a one of the custom chips, or it might be a custom CPU chip. I don't really know. I don't know really that much about the GORF boards. I've never really done anything but swap them out. So anyway, Let's go ahead and try this one. Board number 7, which is the first CPU board, and this one also has the heat sink on it, so that's good. Sometimes these heat sinks are missing. They're just glued on with thermal glue, and they will be missing. I think I even read somewhere, I might be wrong, but that one of the games, I believe they have some that don't have the heat sink, but I'm not 100% sure about that. So don't quote me on that. Okay, first CPU board is in. Let's turn it on and find out what happens. And it looks like it's a good board. It's up and running. Okay. One down, 2 more to go. Board number 7, CPU. Good. Okay, board number 8. This one also has the heat sink, so that's a good sign. All right. See if I can get it lined up here. Okay, yeah, sometimes those boards are a little hard to get in the slot. Okay, here we go, board number 8, the third CPU board. And it looks like I got a purplish red screen. Definitely not coming up. All right, let me reseat it again. That's just hard. All right, try it again. Nope, same thing. Okay, we're going to mark this one as bad. Now, it's a possibility that even though this board looks fairly clean, could have a problem with the sockets. You could try pulling these chips out and cleaning them. And this chip right here, I don't know what that is, U21, it's got a socket. And I don't believe, let's see, yeah, the one I just tested is in a socket. What about the third one? Yeah, that's in a socket too, so I guess that's socketed. All right, we'll just mark number 8 as bad. And we'll worry about what's wrong with it later. Or let somebody else worry about it. Hint, hint, Matt. Okay, board number 9, which is the last CPU board. All right. So far, nothing. But I don't see any smoke. It looks to be dead. All right, we'll try to reseat it one more time. Looks like I see something, streaks, vertical lines streaking. Yeah, it's definitely something wrong. All right, we're gonna mark this one as bad. So number 9 is bad. Okay. Number 10 is the first pattern transfer board. Okay, first, let me put my original CPU board back in. All right, see if the game still works. And the game still works. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a break because I believe my battery in my little camera has gone dead. So let me take a break and charge the battery. I'll put another one in. Okay, we're back. My little camera that's recording the screen of the game doesn't have very much memory in it, and it only takes 25 minutes of video. So it wasn't the battery, it ran out of memory. So anyway, where were we? The first pattern board, number 10. Okay, as you can see right now, I got my original boards back in, and it's working fine. So let's cut it off, and let's pull the pattern board out. And this is the pattern board. Set mine over here out the way. Actually, they call it the pattern transfer board. All right, this one looks clean, but whether it works or not, we shall find out. Kind of doubtful. I know 2 of them didn't work. I don't know, when last time I was looking for a working pattern board, seems like me I only had 2. Well, I had 2 bad ones and 1 good one, and I put the good one in the game, but I have 3 of them here, so that 1 board must have been somewhere else. But anyway, let's find out if this one is good or bad, because I don't know, they're all mixed up. I don't know which is which. So let's turn it on and see what happens. Huh. This one appears to be totally dead. Nothing's coming up. I don't see any smoke. All right, let me reseat it. All right, let's try it again. I don't see anything on the monitor, so I would say that one is totally dead. Okay. Okay, so number 10 is bad. Blank screen. All right, let's try number 11. It also looks like a nice clean board. These plastic ears on that one is tight. These little ears are supposed to be, you pull them up and it pushes down like a lever to give you some leverage to help you take the cards out. Okay, that one's in. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, the game comes up, but as you can probably see on the screen, it has all kinds of a pattern, like a rug pattern or whatever, in the back. You can kind of see the sprites in between some of the lines there. But basically, you got like a rug pattern across the whole thing, so it's definitely bad. But at least it's not keeping the game from booting up. So number 11 is bad. And I'm going to put rug pattern. Okay. Number 12, which is the last pattern board. Now, if I remember right, I had one pattern board that almost worked, but it had a few glitches in it. Unless I got another one around here somewhere, this is bound to be that particular board. But we'll find out here in a second. Okay, in. Let's turn it on. Okay, it came up. But yeah, it's definitely got some funkiness in it. The words GORF look like they were broken up into lines. The scrolling text here looks fine, but if we let it go into the track mode, I think you'll see some of it looks okay, but you'll see should see little glitches. Yeah, see little like stars, spats coming on the screen. It's very subtle, but it's more noticeable. On the title screen, we have GORF, and right there, so you have multiple ships. So yeah, this is that other board that I remember that I had problems with that partially worked, but yeah, see the goofiness there. So, okay, well, this is working, but it's still bad. So, let's take this one out. And that is the last pattern board. number 12, I'm going to put bad works with goofiness. How about that? Is that a terminology to use? Okay. Next board, number 13. This is the first programmed RAM board. And this has GORF. Some of the ROMs are labeled GORF, some of them don't have labels, so somebody has evidently replaced some of these at one point. And that's another thing. If this board doesn't work, it could be bad ROMs. So I could take the ROMs out and take it to my ROM reader and find out if the ROMs are good or bad. Could have bad sockets. And then evidently it has some RAM down here. Yeah, this is 2114 RAM. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 RAM here, and associated circuitry. So, and then it's got one of those tantalum capacitors on it. Anyway, let's put it in and see what happens. I don't know if these are good or bad because I don't think I've ever tested these because I've never had a RAM board go bad as far as I can remember. So these could be good and they might be bad. But we're fixing to find out. Here we go. Okay. Well, guess what? That was bad because I never took the 12. Yeah, what did I do? Duh. I put that in where the pattern board's supposed to go. I didn't. See, I goofed up. Well, everybody goofs up. So let me put my good pattern board back in. It didn't appear to affect anything. It was still working goofy. All right. Now I got my original boards back in. Let's see if it still works. Okay, we're up and running. So no harm, no foul. Okay, now let's take my RAM board out. And this is mine. Huh. It's definitely different. It's got different. It's completely different. It's even got sockets are in different places. Like my board here don't have any sockets right here. And this one's got sockets. One of them's used, one of them's not. This one's not used. That one is used. I guess it could be strapped for different ROMs. It could be a different version of ROMs. I don't know. They actually have 3 of them have GORF written on them. And these look like mask ROMs because they don't have a programming window on them. So, I don't know. Let's put it in and see what happens. A mystery board. Could it be a converted Wizard of War board? I don't know. Let's see what happens. Okay, it comes up. So the only thing I can figure is it's a different revision of the board and probably uses, could have a different ROM version, or it could just use different ROMs. So, but it's up and running, and it looks fine. So we're gonna say that's good. I'll have to compare this with the original and see if I can't figure out what these chips are, if they're masked ROMs. And if I pulled a sticker off of, well, I don't have to pull the sticker off of these. These are 2532s. All right. Well, first let me write down this board is good. And they got 2532s in them. And let me see what my original board has in them, if I can read them. Original boards have, let's see, what are they? They're 2532s. It must be another revision, but they got this pass sticker right here, right where the revision is. I see an A right there. Let me see what this other board, if I can see anything. It's also got that pass sticker on it. But the board is, it definitely doesn't have that on it. I don't, unless it's underneath this sticker. All right, I'll have to do a little further investigation on that. See what the difference is. Let's go ahead and try to get these boards finished before my other camera runs out of memory. Okay, here's number 14, the second programmed RAM board. And this is like my original because it's got all the sockets across here. Only this one has got all masked ROMs. And there's no labels on it. So I don't know for sure if this is GORF or not. Seemed like to me I remember buying a card rack that had Wizard of War on it one time, but I don't know if this is in that lot. I may have some more boards out in the garage that I don't know about, or maybe this is it. Who knows? Let's find out. Okay, well, I'm not seeing anything. Nothing. Let me reseat it again. Okay, nothing. So I'm going to label this one as bad. Even though it looks like it has all masked ROMs on it. (9332A0676) MB73E-0. I can't read that. I have to do a little more research on that. but it definitely is not working. So 14, bad, and we'll say dead because there's nothing on the screen. Okay, the third programmed ROM-RAM board. And this one here is just like my original, I believe. And it has all EPROMs listed as GORF. So let's see what this one does. Okay, on we go. Okay, well, that's different. Kind of hard to see in my mirror, but it looks like it's starting to boot up. And it's, but it don't quite look right. And it looks like it's resetting. So, bad board. Bad board resetting. At least that's what it looks like to me. Okay, that does it for the programmed ROM-RAM board. So I'm going to put mine back in. And turn it back on and see if mine is still working. Okay, looks like it's working to me. All right, that leaves us with 3 game logic boards. These I'm kind of dreading because it's got those plugs on them, but I just have to be careful and make sure I get all the pins in right. All right, now this is the board, the game logic board. I believe these are 2 custom I/O chips. I think one of them handles the control inputs, and one of them I think might handle the sound outputs. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm pretty sure these are both custom chips, and they're the same chips, so they're interchangeable. But if they're bad, they're bad. And that means your board is no more good unless you can find them, because nobody, as of right now, has reversed engineered these, and nobody makes new ones. So hopefully, I heard somewhere that somebody was thinking about really reverse engineering and making them, but I don't know for sure. It would be nice if they did. So if you're the person that's thinking about doing it out there, please. It's a lot of GORFs and Wizard of Wars and Robbie Roto and Space Zap. I think all use the same chips, or might be a variation of them. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's been a lot of GORFs been bit to dust because of that. So it'd be nice if somebody would take that up. Okay, the board's in. Now if we can just get these plugged in. This tag is in the way. I got that one on. These are a pain. Okay, they look like I got them both on. So let's see, game logic board. Board number 16, first one. Well, came up. Let me just run it a little bit more through the attract mode here. Make double sure that it looks like it's working. Yep, looks like a good board. Okay. I know I did it a while ago, but it's a good idea. Even though these aren't IDC connectors, these are regular connectors. I don't know if this looks original, but it's best to never pull on the wires to take a plug off. Really should grab the connector itself. Okay, number 16, game logic board, good. Try the second one. I reckon on these I should have checked the controls to make sure the controls are working. Started the game. Well, I'll do that. Maybe I'll start with this one. To find out if those custom chips are bad, because I think the game will boot up. At least under some circumstances, if that custom chip is bad, it's just you might not have some sound or control inputs. That's a lot of pins here. If they're not straight, they won't plug in, but I think I got it. Okay. Looks like we got the first one as bad. Yep, I see smoke. Well, I thought it felt like one of these capacitors was warm, but it's not warm now. But it smells burnt. So I bet one of these are burnt. So I might have to take my multimeter to that. Well, right now I'm just going to list it as bad, possible, bad caps. And I think my other camera just died. Probably the battery this time. Okay, let me go see what's wrong with that and we'll be back. Okay, back up and running again. The memory card on the little camera ran out again, so. Okay, well, I went ahead and to line the camera back up, I put my original game logic board back in, and of course it's still working. So let's cut that off, and we'll unplug it, and pull it out. And let's put the last board in, board number 18, game logic board. And we'll do this one real quick and find out if it works, and if it does come up, then I'll go ahead and drop a token in and play the game and make sure all the controls work, because this board does have the custom chips on it that I believe handle the I/O imports, I/O in and out for the joysticks as well as the sound, I think. So we'll test it, and then we'll put that first board in that seemed to be working and test it to make double sure that the custom chips are working on that. So and I guess I could always pull the custom chips out of the bad board and put them in a good board and test them to see if they're working. But we'll see. Yeah, this thing. There we go. Finally. Okay, let's find out if this board is any good. And it appears it is. Board's running, so let me go around and see if I can coin up and play a game. And I might even turn the sound back up a little bit. Let's see. Look like we got a little bit of weirdness going on the left-hand side when it was in the, yeah, we got some weirdness going on there. May have problems. Plus, I don't hear any sound. Game's playing, but no sound. That could mean a bad custom chip. All right. Controls are working though. So let me make sure that I got that board plugged in right. May not have been plugged in all the way. Looked like it was a little high on the back side of this. Let's see if I can get it back on there again. Okay, that felt like it went on good. Let's try it and see what happens. Still don't think we got any sound. Okay. Board number 18. Bad. Artifacts on left of screen. And no sound. Okay, let me take this board back out. And let me put the number 16 back in, which is the one that appeared good, but I didn't try out the controls. So let me let me see if we got sound on this one. I think I had sound on it, but I turned the volume up so we'll know for sure. Okay, let's see if we can get these connectors on here. Okay, that one went on. That one went on. Okay, let's check it out. I don't hear any sound. Let me corn it up and see if the controls work. Oh yeah, we got sound now, but I don't know if I got speech. Yeah, it's low though.
Space Some galactic defender, you are Space Cadet.
Okay, appears like this board is working.
You're at Crosshair Space Cadet. Too bad, Space Cadet.
Alright, this board is working. So this board number 16, and that's good. Alright, we said 17 was bad, possible bad caps. Yeah. And I'm going to have to check those with a meter to see if which ones are shorted out, because I'm not going to try that again until I do. Okay. This one here, let's see, 18, that was the bad one. Let me push on the custom chips here. I heard them crack a little bit. And let me try this one more time. This is the last one, number 18. I just want to try it now that I turned the sound back up, to see if the sound is working. Because this is the one that had the artifacts on the left of the screen and no sound. So let's try it one more time. And maybe reseating it might help it too. Okay, got that one on. And that's on. Okay, let's try it. Let's wait for it to go through the attract mode. Maybe a dip switch setting that doesn't have sound and speech in attract mode. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the dip settings in a long time. There's nothing in attract mode. Let me start a game and find out. That'll be a quick telling of if that's the case. Okay, that might be what the deal is.
Robot warriors, seek and destroy the space cadet.
Not used to playing this left-handed.
Galactic Defender, you are space cadet.
Yeah, see the artifacts there on the edge of the screen.
Space cadet.
Except for that, this board seems to be working okay. But it's still got a problem. It almost works. Okay. Well, I don't know what would be causing that. I don't know if this has any memory on it or not. Let's see, this is the game board. See, that chip is SC01. I think that's the speech chip right there. That hard to find speech chip. Well, it's hard to say. Without knowledge of how this board works here, I wouldn't begin to guess what it might be. I suppose it could even be one of these tantalum capacitors getting ready to short out. It might be causing some kind of little spike in one of the voltage rails. I guess that's always a possibility. I guess the only way to find out would be to go ahead and change out the caps. Okay, well, I'm going to end this video right here. Let's see, let me put this back. Number 18 was the last one. Let me scratch out no sound. It does have sound. It only has the artifacts on the left of the screen. There's probably a dip switch setting that kills the sound in attract mode, because I would imagine if this was at a convenience store all day and the employee was working close by it. I imagine old GORF would get on their nerves by the end of the day. So that's a possibility, I guess. All right, there's a couple things I could do on those boards. Change the capacitors out, and I could swap these custom chips, but I think I'm just going to leave them like it is. And if the person that I think I'm going to send these to, if he's got time to do it and he wants to do it, I think I'll just let him go through them rather than me messing with a whole lot of different things. So I'll kind of go through the boards and get everything sort of sorted out and figure out what I'm going to do. All right, let me put my original board back in here. God, I hate putting these connectors on. Okay. All right, let's see what happens. The weird thing is my original board the other day when I fixed the speech board, when I turned it on, I immediately got sound. Got all the original boards back in. Oh well. Seems to be working. Alrighty, well, that's how you test GORF boards in the Bally Williams card rack. If you got good boards to compare them against, then you can certainly figure out what boards, untested boards, you can test them and find out if they're good or bad or what they're doing, if they're partially working, whatever. And then you can write down what they're doing. So if you fix them yourself, you'll know what you're looking for. If you send them off to somebody, you can at least give them a heads up as to, hey, this is what it's doing for me, and this is what it's not doing. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Probably it's going to turn out to be kind of long, but it could be interesting to somebody who has never seen the inside of a GORF and never done any testing, and might be thinking about buying a GORF, or might have a project GORF that isn't working. And just want to let you know that it's not that much to it. Things can happen. I even goofed up and put two of the the program RAM boards in at the same time. Didn't hurt nothing. I put that one board in that had the bad tantalum capacitors, and we got smoke. Still didn't hurt anything. So, but if you do find one of those capacitors smoking, all you have to do is just take the clippers and clip one side of it to take it out the circuit, and you can go ahead and test it. But you still need to put that capacitor back in. Okay, well, if you like what I'm doing here at the arcade, just go ahead and subscribe. Looking at the figures on YouTube, most of the people that's watching my videos aren't subscribers. So please, if you're watching them, just hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. If you don't like something I'm doing, leave a comment. If you like something I'm doing, leave a comment. That's fine. I'm a big boy. I can take criticism. So I appreciate anybody and everybody that watches, and I hope that you'll stick around and tune in for the next arcade fix. Have you had your arcade fix today?